How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm well. I'm well. So, Midoriya 5, huh?
Yeah, I was watching your video going over the reprints and you mentioned Rando's Spirit Gun and it seemed like a funny deck.
Um, were you watching stream last night?
Um, a little bit. I saw, what was it, Mitchell that you were playing with played Midoriya for a little bit.
Yeah, and he absolutely kicked my teeth in. It was crazy. It was very, very strong. Um,
hmm
so give me the pitch. You put a lot on the Patreon, which I appreciate, but I want to hear it from the player's mouth. What's going on?
Yeah, yeah, so the gist of it is just Rando's Spirit Gun fits in extremely well since you get the free stats, so you can get the extra 2-2, and then you can use your once per turn, which is really good, again. But the issue that I was running into is that a lot of the charge attacks seem kind of crappy, but Air Force Glove still, in your character's +3/+1, still works on punches.
Sure.
So you can take advantage of Final Smash and Valiant Assault and even something like Karate Chop, which is usually like a stun 2, sometimes a stun 3, but it's not stun, so you can still put stun with Air Force Gloves on it.
Right.
Um, and with Red Punch and Yellow Punch being charges, that just seems like it's enough card draw more often than not, especially when Final Smash can tutor you something out of the discard.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's nothing crazy. It's just trying to use a blend of punches and charges um, to win the game. And then with the new cards that you get, like the final test being extra card draw and being a weird way to interact with Award the Victor, or breaking the cuffs being a way to just put even more stats on your things. It seemed like it was pretty easy to kill with either Rando Spirit Gun being a powerful 4 or even True 100% just being, first form, catch a, 13 mid 12 or something stupid.
Yeah.
It just Midoriya 5 was very good at touching you and getting momentum and spinning his wheels, but he can never kill people. And now you've got cards that'll actually let you kill them.
Yeah. No, I dig it. I dig it a lot. So what do you need my help with? What are you looking for here?
The first issue that I've been running into is all of the good cards have mid blocks, and so trying to diversify the block zones on attacks is rough, and that's where Karate Chop and Valiant Assault and kind of pulling away from charges because every charge seemed to have a mid block.
Mm-hmm.
And I still don't have low blocks because it's like smashing Nomu and I mean I guess you could play like 100 the 100% power, not the true 100 unleashed, but the regular 100% is a charge punch low block. But it's still a 2 check and it has some issues. But really, there's no good low blocks that I could find on attacks. And then the foundations, a lot of the blocks seem to be +3 high blocks, or like +2 high blocks, and that can so balancing the block zones on foundations has also been quite a bit of a challenge. And then just in general, it just seems like there's a lot of really good foundations, and I'm just struggling to find a good balance between offense and defense.
Sure. The first thing I would say to you is Yusuke's Spirit Wave is a decent enough move to like want to play it. Breaker 2 low block. If you are concerned about low blocks, it could be like that same idea of like instead of 100% unleashed, even though this is a charge, you could just play this instead. Because I don't know how many times you're gonna play true 100% and use Midoriya's discard to try and dig deeper, right? Like this, like
Yeah,
if
that
you're
being a
playing
charge is
true
more so just
100%, I would rather just play a fourth Spirit Gun. I know the 2 check is silly, but like so is a 6 diff.
yeah. I guess my thought was that because it gets itself up to a 10 for at least like a 10 for 10 typically plus what Midori can put on it.
Mm-hmm.
It just gets more damage than Spirit Gun does without needing to spend the momentum on it. But I mean, but you're right, it is a 6 diff and that can cause a different set of issues.
Yeah. Like if this is supposed to be like a pseudo string deck because of wanting to rando Spirit Gun and draw more cards, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of just like I play rapid punches, I play rando Spirit Gun, I play the rest of my turn, right? It's probably like the idea of like opening with true 100% probably is not like incredible, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's every
Yeah.
ready foundation in your stage. I don't know. I feel like I would just like rather have rando Spirit Gun so that I can discard draw 1, rando Spirit Guard, discard draw 2. So like even though I only went up by 2, I like cycled twice. I like do my
Right.
best Suzaku impersonation. Yeah. No, hold on.
Mm-hmm. The
Suzuki?
clown guy.
Yeah, the clown guy. What's his name?
Okay.
It's Suzuki, right? Yeah. I do my best impersonation of him, but I actually give his stats. Feels pretty good.
Yeah, and I guess if you reset True 100%, if you reset the speed and damage, it's a 3 mid 3, whereas Spirit Gun is a 5 mid 5 still, and so it's still respectable, and it has EX and powerful, so you can stack up on afterwards if you haven't done that already.
Yeah, that's how I feel at least.
Yeah.
How often do you feel like you're drawing off of Valiant because of the combo, right?
I mean, really, the only thing it doesn't combo with is the True 100% and randos, and I mean, you're right. If I'm playing True 100%, I'm not trying to dig deeper. I'm playing it because I'm confident I'm gonna make enough progress with it that I'm not worried about drawing with Valiant. And then with Rando's Spirit Gun, I mean, typically that comes in as the second. I mean, I guess having 3 copies of it, I'm not often. Or I guess I found myself in a situation where, because I have a lot of punches that aren't charges, that playing the once per turn the second time doesn't usually get a whole lot of value, just because I'm not, like with rapid punches or hard barrage, I get to cycle 1, then cycle, or discard 1, draw 1, then discard 1, draw 2.
Sure.
But I'm not often like drawing 2, then drawing 3. And so with Valiant Assault, I mean, it combos with everything but 4 of my attacks. And I mean, all of my punches that it works with are all 4 diffs, and so it feels good, but there are times where I draw my hand and I draw like a Spirit Gun and a Valiant Assault and a 100% Unleashed, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's an issue with the 100% and the Spirit Guns, or if the Valiant Assault just isn't quite doing it. And it's also only a 3 mid 4, and so it's really not hitting hard, and it can't pump its damage up in any way. And it's been feeling pretty lackluster, especially as like a third form or something like that.
So my idea, instead of Valiant Assault, is if we just get away from the idea of the punches and we just go back to the charges, right? And I click the charge keyword. This card fixes your low block idea. It wears stun 1 very well. It's a 6 low for 7 in your deck. It's got a 1 low block. Yeah, you didn't get the draw off of this, but you get a better draw off of this. Like you could just cut the Valiant and the True 100%, and this is still just like a 6 damage, 7 damage move. Like, this card's cracked in Midoriya. Like, it's so good.
Really?
Yeah, it's just unblockable for 7 damage on a 4 diff. Like 6 low for 7 that had stun 1 is like, fuck that.
Yeah, I guess I'm looking at it, and it's only 9 stats on an attack, and because it doesn't have any ability, I guess its ability is it's a 1 low block. I mean, but is it just because it's a 6 base damage and 3 is enough to get you there sometimes, or like 3, like plus the 3 speed your character gives you, like 6 speed is enough, and like you're just assuming that you just have a foundation to ready?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, because
they play the game back at you, right?
Yeah.
And also, right? Like let's imagine what's the best line that could happen, right? The best line that could happen would be rapid punches into Rando's Spirit Gun, right? And they have to deal with the Rando Spirit Gun. Okay, well, then I just chain a bunch of 7 damage moves at the end, and they had to tap out to not die to Rando Spirit Gun, right? And so I'm just gonna play a bunch of 4 diffs, and I drew up all of them because I got to Midoriya twice. Whereas the best line that I could do with Valiant Assault is Rando Spirit Gun Light, but I'm drawing so many cards that I'm just gonna find the Rando Spirit Gun. I'm just gonna find it.
Okay.
It also is a low, like it's another low to put in instead of this, right? What are my attack zones? This is mid, high, low, high, mid. So like if we just like cut the Valiant, right? We just got rid of it and just played 3 copies of this. The other idea that we could do, I guess that one's not I know Mitch was playing Air Force Flick because it says draw 1.
Yeah.
I'm not in love with that. But like Air Force Blast is not a bad card either, truthfully. Like if you wanted like a different instead of Karate Chop, but it's like this
the same idea.
An 8 high for 7, they just die.
Yeah.
Just like how many 7 damage moves can you take, right?
I guess my issue with that one is it's with it being a 5 diff is it makes it hard. Like if you're playing it as your second, or like because ideally Rando Spirit Gun is your second form, or if they're at 8 or more foundations, if you play Charge and then Final Smash as your second form, you can stack the deck and then discard one, draw one with your character, and then pull up a Spirit Gun and then play Spirit Gun and just do whatever.
Sure.
Having a 5 diff seems a little awkward, and maybe I've got too many copies of Air Force Gloves and Snack Time, but having guaranteeing to have Air Force Gloves or more often than not, I'll have a copy of Air Force Gloves and a copy of Snack Time. That stun 2 lets me, not only do I get to feed that one foundation for my character, but I get to make progress while I'm, even if you're not blocking, I'm still committing one more foundation every turn. And the Karate Chop can really push, feels like it can push it over the edge. Sometimes Karate Chop just feels kind of blank if they've tapped out and I just need to kill them. But
Sure.
that extra 2 speed doesn't seem to help all that much, especially like what you were saying, if it's a 7 damage move, or if you throw a Spirit Gun that's starting at 8 plus whatever you put on powerful, and it's at least 11 speed, like they're probably tapping out to block that. And so
Our characters is a 10 speed move, right?
um
Because it gets 3 from Midoriya, 2 from itself.
yeah.
Which is why I think that it's just better than this. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because because there have been times where I play that and I check a 3 and I'm real upset because instead of being 8 speed, it's 6 speed, and that's very blockable.
Yeah.
Or starting at 6 plus, it goes up to 9 and they can deal with a 9 speed. Whereas Spirit Gun is just always 10.
Okay, here's the last card that I think is worth putting in your deck, and it's just 45% power. It just says if my rival's playing the game, I get to draw more cards, see more options, have more chances to find Rando Spirit Gun. But that is getting away from the. It is a mid block, right? Whereas we've got 3 highs, 3 lows, and the rest are all mids. It probably could be a replacement for Final Smash, because Final Smash is a 6 difficulty if they have if they've got 7 foundations. Whereas this is, if they've played the game at all, it's just a 4 high for 4 that if it goes to momentum, it's 4 damage later as well. Whereas Final Smash is a really good block. It's also the high zone to mess with Karate Chop. And it's draw 1, and then if I want to, discard 1, redraw 1 with Midoriya. Right? So 45% power is like a really sick opener into Rando Spirit Gun. It's also like this really innocuous poke of just like, it's a 4 high for 4. I won't ready anything. I'm good. It's just like, it's that idea.
Okay.
But put that in your back pocket of like, if Final Smash just is feeling lackluster, you could put in, truthfully, 3 copies of 45% power, and I bet it makes Karate Chop even better as well.
Yeah, there are times where the like stacking the deck with Final Smash has not been an attack, just because I've drawn enough cards, or I drew 4 in my opening hand and I know I'm going to draw more later. And so, but there have been times where I just put a 6 check on top, and that also feels fantastic to play.
Yeah.
4 into Final Smash if it's a 4 diff, 4 into a Final Smash on a 5, into a Spirit Gun on a 7, and I check a 6. Like, that's also been helpful. But yeah, to your point, that there have been times where Final Smash has been just a real blank 6 diff.
Yeah. Airy Smile is not your deck. What's up with that?
I did not know that was on the all symbol. That's good to know.
Aries Smile, avoiding conflict is pretty okay. Avoiding conflict, you're allowed to discard and give your move plus 2 damage, or you can draw with it. Just as like a consistency piece. And so now your character readies. You ready for 3-1, and you discard avoiding conflict. Your move gets 3-3. And you also can discard on Midoriya for minus speed if you want it.
Oh, discard on their turn
discard
and
on their
draw
turn.
1 or nothing,
Or
and then
nothing.
just get minus 2 speed.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's an idea. It would, we'd have to take out. It's another mid, and you're not playing very many mids over here, which means we'd probably want to take out mids over here, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But it's just an idea. The other option is if we're just gonna kill him dead, then blocking is for chumps. Let's talk foundations. So, Steel Muscle Explosion is definitely a win more card. Settling old debts not being your deck is crazy. This is arguably the strongest foundation in the game at the moment. Like, this card is just like nuts. This card's actually insane. One of those not fair ones. Urumeshi's Perseverance is a better card than this card at doing the job you want it to do 9 times out of 10. Because this card also lets you just go pick up Aries Smile on defense. It lets you go pick up, as a form, go pick up Sugar Rush. As a form, go pick up Air Force Gloves. Go pick up what you want. Go pick up Random Spirit Gun.
That's pick up a card? When I read that, I just read add 1 attack for some reason.
Card. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe it's just an attack 90% of the time, but
correct.
That is good to know.
Always Cool should exist somewhere in your deck. How have you been feeling about Air Force Style?
There are times where it feels kind of bad, and then there are times where you play it with Red Punch, and it's hilarious because you get to spin away 2 or 3 other cards with 1 Air Force Style.
Yeah.
It's one that I cut down to a 3 just as when I was trying to cut it down to 60 cards. I just took a lot of 4s and cut them down. But
smart. It's
been feeling really nice, and especially just because in that stun 1 that you get to put on with Air Force Gloves is a real stun 1, since you get rid of their Ready Foundation, and it lets you chew through to get to their resets. Because that's one thing that I've noticed that I've had an issue with is putting all of your weight behind a Spirit Gun to actually kill someone from 14 or so. Is frustrating when they have either the defending Pageant Queen, or I forget what the other one, the first enhance, set the attack damage to 0.
Right.
Like getting those have been a big pain, and just being able to have 1 less foundation to have to stun through has been nice. Because if I'm throwing 6, well, I guess if we're adding 7 damage moves, that might I might be able to get to that a little bit quicker. But throwing 5 and 6 damage moves just isn't enough to get that answer out quick enough sometimes. And so having that's been nice. Or even if they re-ready foundations, which I know isn't terribly common. It makes what's the Jiro foundation with Kaminari's face? The after you get you commit a foundation, flip and ready something.
Yeah.
You just get to say no. You're gonna ready your best foundation or throw it away. And so there are some niche applications for that, but just in general, it's felt good. And it's a 2 high block, whereas most of my blocks are 3s. It seems like.
Yeah, I think these cards, like you said, fine. I think it's fine. I don't think it's anything really to write home about. It used to be a card that I was super into. This card's so nuts, but it your opponent, as soon as this card hits the board, they just don't commit their good cards. Right? They just won't let you spin anything fun back with it.
Yeah, I guess the only thing that I have to add to that is with Daunting Message, just if you're at Desperation, being able to target commit something and then use Air Force Style to throw it away is an option. But I guess if I'm at Desperation, I'm probably trying to kill him, and if I'm committing the thing, then the thing is gone anyway, so it probably doesn't matter.
And this 2/5 2 high block, is it actually better than the 0/6 1 high block that says that you built 6 on turn 1 so that you can draw 7 cards and just kill them? It's a better block. It's a better check. It just it plays harder, right?
True. Or it could even be what is a symbol, just for an extra +2 -2 damage or something like that once a turn.
Right. Yeah. The question is spinning that card away better, right? The answer is unsure. I saw Rooftop Vantage in your deck. What is this card doing in here?
It's a low block. No, I mean it's just a low block.
You have Foresight as a 0 diff that is better than that, and you have You're Finished that is better than that.
Yeah, I guess just the 3 low block annoys me, since so many of the low blocks are already 3s.
Sure.
But I mean, you're right. Deadlock, commit a foundation is already doing more. It's I think the only deadlock is Snack Time anyway, and so it's at least saying I'm going to turn off your reset and then kill you.
Yeah. Correct.
I hate 3 low blocks, just because whenever someone throws a low attack, it's usually trying to kill you.
Sure.
What it
How much
like.
speed hate is in your deck?
I think just the 1. Up? Yeah, the 4 resting up and the 1 Pageant Queen.
Okay. Let's find some more speed hate. We can do that. I believe in us. Hold on. We do standard and then search again. This card is very good speed hate. This card is technically speed hate, depending on what our blocks are. The top card is an attack. It gets minus. Okay. Pageant could just be at a higher number if we really wanted it to be. This is just commit -2 speed. If you have an asset, gains you health. So 1/5, 3 high block. Like these commit for -2 speeds are like not bad, truthfully. Just like as long as you play them correctly, they are not bad. Was there speed hate inside of here? No. It just no wonder the All Might deck sucked. There was just no speed hate. All worked up. Unexpected Hero is good speed hate.
Yeah, I've got 2 of those, and that was kind of filling that role. And sometimes the speed of my attack is so insanely high that the 3 damage is just free.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like the final test, like you could easily just take this card out because like I'm not positive you need to draw more cards and just play the Hatsume card for commit -2 speed if you've got Hatsume's design, right? Like it's the same.
Well,
that same
because I had the final plan in as my flip draw card instead of the flip draw if you have 6 or more foundations, or was both players have to have 6 or more foundations?
Yeah.
Because I had this in just because the form, I guess it doesn't. The final test doesn't really work with Hardened Barrage because you can't flip it during the enhanced step 4 Hardened Barrage. So you can't unflip it if you hit them. So you need to flip something else. But the big thing was just that it works with Final Smash and it works with, what was the card? Where'd it go? Award the Victor, which you're talking about a 2 of and a 2 of, and so that's a pairing that's cute, but it's probably not terribly consistent. Then, but the discard a card just was so easy to meet with Snack Time or the character,
sure,
that it just seemed like that was easier to achieve than having 6 foundations.
Wow,
like just because it's activated on turn 2.
You think so? I think the big thing about selling old debts is like you can actually use it on defense. You get into a panic and like you were trying to save selling old debts for your turn, and they've got 6, you've got 6, right? Because obviously they need to have 8 for your final smash idea to work. Because I'm not going to play this on a 6 and then flip this as a form. I'm just not going to do that.
Right.
Or wherever I put that card. I think I already cut it because I'm a bad. Oh, it's right here.
No, that's a good point. I didn't think about it. You can't draw on defense.
You can't draw on defense. As a panic block, I need to draw this Aries Smile.
Right. Okay. No,
okay.
that's good enough for me.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to just cut the cards in your deck that I don't like.
Sure.
All right. Charging All for One is a bad card. Looks cool on paper. Rooftop Vantage, bad card.
Yeah.
Display of Power, bad card. Final Test, bad card. Air Force Style. I'm down if you want to fight me on this card, but I think it's not very good. I think that your deck doesn't need it anymore. I think what your deck needs is just to kill people harder. If you want to, I think Daunting Message is your Air Force Style. I don't think you need 7 copies of this card, especially not one that's a 2 diff.
Yeah, and I guess Air Force Style is more of a control type card, whereas Daunting Message is, oh, you didn't kill me and I'm at 10, now you're dead.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's what this character does better when everything's unblockable and has stun too.
I'm going to slam some cards back in your deck.
Yeah.
What's this number at?
I was just trying to keep it to 60 for consistency's sake, but I guess I'm not too particular on that number.
Okay. I'm going to put in 3 low blocks and then we're going to call it a day. Let's look at difficulties real fast. Yeah, I think the answer is if we're just going for 3 low blocks to put it at 60, the answer is page 2. It's just 3 copies.
Put in the 0 diff.
It's either Foresight or the All Might one. Foresight says that it is harder for you to check a 2 on turn 1, but it is technically a worse card. Or this card says if they go to Deadlock, which they are to do against your character, that it is more potent.
I'll probably say you're finished. Deadlock has been a bit of an issue, or maybe not Deadlock, but it's once they get enough foundations where they can actually block something, it's been an issue to kill people.
Here's my last
And-
change.
Yeah.
This is gonna go down to a 2 of, and we're gonna put it one very small. Air Force Gloves is incredible. You only ever want one of it. We don't care about having the second one, right?
Yeah.
So it's always discard fodder for Midoriya. This card's gonna save
Right.
your life. This card will be
I guess I
more
just-
consistent in every game across the board than the third Air Force Gloves.
Okay. I guess the games that I've played where I didn't have Air Force gloves, they felt really bad. And I mean, like, I know I can draw, and especially because I've got more charges, it'll be easier to draw too, and so I'll be more likely to dig and find it. And there have been games where I'm just spinning my wheels because I don't know what to do. I pull an Air Force gloves off the top of my deck and I say I'm done, and then I'm just gonna build it and wait for next turn. So I know I can find it. It just the games where I don't have it just feel really bad.
I can
And like I don't know if it's
fully
an
understand that.
overreaction. I don't know if that's like an overreaction to it. And I should just go down to 2 because it's an asset that I don't need. But my thought is it's a decent, like, it's a pretty good block and it checks a 6. And like what you were saying, it's something that you can just throw away.
My biggest thing is that your draw is going to be more consistent, as you said, and you don't have to press this button because this thing just hits so incredibly hard. Your 4 low or your 5 low for 4 rapid punches, your 4 high for 5 hardened barrages, they're like just throwing them at base stats is enough to to elicit a reaction out of your opponent. To say that your rando spirit gun is going to be a 10 for whatever. It just is, right? Your Dragon Crash is going to be it's a 6 damage move. You have to deal with it. You have to deal with it. Karate Chop is already that stun move. Final Smash starts at 5 high for 6. If you don't press the Midoriya button and they just choose not to block anything, you'll just kill them. We didn't care about the stun anyways. Right? This is to guarantee that the last move hits, not that on every move I get to press Midoriya. And also, we have snack time to like make up for it as well, and we're drawing a Chameleon. So like,
yeah,
we've got snack time. We've got breaking the cuffs for more stats. We've got I know in the other deck, I know that Mitch was playing Talented Baker, and this card was like insane. He would, on his first move, he'd have double Talented Baker out, and on his first move, he would just like discard, redraw 1, and then go, okay, these all get 2 speed, and I go, yeah, I guess that's just better than the stun 1 because like they're all unblockable.
Yeah.
And then you put more stats on them. Okay, yeah, you got me.
Okay, and then because you've got 4 spirit guns, it's so much easier to, like, if you actually want to like plus with your once per turn, you'll find that, so you can do it again anyway.
Yeah.
And you also have rapid punches and all of your other draw foundations. Okay.
Yeah. But I think that this is it. Double check and make sure that your Air Force gloves are actually useful. If not, I would play just a couple games with Talented Bakers. I would try and find room for 3, even if it means that you like take out the unexpected heroes for them and be like, hey, I'm gonna be a little weak on defense, right?
Yeah.
I also cut 1 Award the Victor and put in a second Pageant Queen. You don't need 2 of this card.
I think that makes sense, and especially if we're going from 3 to 4 2 checks, I think it might make sense to just cut the 3 difficulty foundation.
Yeah.
As a whole, and especially playing an asset. I mean, I feel like there's already enough issues trying to, like, I haven't felt like I've had a whole lot of issues building, but there are just so many good 2 diffs that I don't think trying to play Award the Victor is really worth it. Especially like if you're gonna cut it down to 1, I don't know if there's a whole lot of room for it. It's like because the card that it pairs with it, being the form flip draw card, if that's gone, then it's just a neat card, but it doesn't have any kind of tactics with any other card anymore.
I love that. I've drawn just the worst hands. Hey, that's a real hand. Okay.
It looks like last night.
All right, man. This is the list. This is what I would start testing. Final things would be look at Final Smash. Is it doing its job? Look at Air Force Gloves. Is it doing its job? And replace those if necessary. Those are probably the 2 weakest ideas. And there's a couple ideas of what's going on here. There's a lot of defense happening here as opposed to a lot of I'm just going to kill you cards. But you'll have to figure it out.
Alrighty. Well, I appreciate the help.
Welcome, man. Thanks for the support on Patreon. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
All right. See you, buddy.
See ya.